Alright, what's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family and my Yellowstone fans and everything else we're going to talk about today? I'm One Eyebrow Eye, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Marshals. And I'm asking the question, does it suck? Or I guess this show sucks, question mark, is what the thumbnail is. So if you haven't seen Marshals, probably don't know what we're talking about. But it's a show on CBS and Paramount Plus. It's a different kind of show. But yeah, we'll talk about what my takes on it are and everything. Also, the Madison is available now on Paramount Plus. It was actually available yesterday. First 3 episodes are up there, and then we have the next 3 episodes will be available next weekend. And we watched the first episode, and it's something. We'll talk about that. Also, spoiler warning for all things Yellowstone, Marshals, Madison, everything else. So, what's up, Tim? Big Tree. What's going on? How we doing? What are you guys watching? Are you excited for Selection Sunday today? For those who don't know, that is the first day that the brackets become available to us later on today, this afternoon. The brackets will be finalized for March Madness. The men's basketball, the women's basketball, Division 1 will be available, and you can find a couple spots to fill out some brackets and hopefully potentially win some prizes, maybe some money and whatever else too. So I don't pay for a bracket anymore. But hey, Carol. So we watched the Madison first episode, the pilot episode yesterday, and we're going to talk about that for sure. Marshals, the first 2 episodes. What else are we watching? Just various, other type of shows. I know we got The Boys is next month. From is next month. The From trailer is out now, so you can see that. And there's a lot of theories, a lot of speculation, a lot of stuff going on. And if you know From, you know the Man in Yellow was shown last season at the end. And he's highlighted very much in the trailer for Season 4. And I have a whole video talking about blue and yellow, or the common colors for that in that show. So I'll have to see what goes down for From Season 4. Paradise, here, good. Carol asked me, am I enjoying Paradise? So I love that show. It's a great show. It's on Hulu. It can be on Disney Plus and Hulu, but it's a Hulu show. And I was going to wait. So we watched all of Season 1 because that was available, and Season 2 just started recently. And I was waiting, and I was like, there's nothing else really to watch. Let's start Season 2 of Paradise. And so we watched it, and now we watched all the episodes up to date. I think episode 6 starts on Monday, airs on Monday. I love it. I know you enjoy the show, Carol. You're the one who recommended the show, and I recommend it to people on Hulu. And it's a good end of world scenario show. It's not zombies. It's just survival. It's, an epic collapse of the world, the Earth, because of some event that occurs. I don't want to give too much away because I want you to watch the show. But it's a dystopian post-apocalyptic world that it unfolds every episode. More and more stuff. And just when you think you got it figured out, they throw another thing in the wrench. Like we watched, I don't want to give too much away, but we watched the latest episode, and it's titled The Mailman. And so it's a whole big story that we get to see from another aspect of a survivor that connects the dots with the main character. And it draws you in too. You're like, man, I like this guy. Okay, seems all right. But then you're like, I'm not sure too. So, Negan says, I'm going to start watching Paradise. Sounds good. What y'all are saying? Yeah, it's good. No, it's a great show. Like if you watch Paradise and you don't like it, I will kind of be shocked, because the way they do it, it's worth watching. So definitely recommend it. And hopefully I haven't steered you guys wrong from other shows. Like I like to be honest. I like to be if I like something, if I don't like something. And I'm not the person, like I told you before many times, that my friend Sean, that I grew up with since I know the kid since 6th grade, and he's like loosely based in the book series and all that stuff. But he just loves movies and shows. And I can't remember a time that he didn't like a show or a movie. He always talked positive somehow about it, which is good to see the positive aspects of things. But if the story is nonsense and the CGI is terrible or whatever, the writing, it doesn't make sense or whatever it is, it's just not good. Not everything that's made is good. Hit it hard, Nixie. So it's not worth watching for some people, but I have recommended shows that I enjoy watching, and I told my dad about certain shows, and he's liked pretty much all the shows I recommended. But they're like good shows, Like I'm not recommending some crazy off the wall thing. Like the latest recommendation from my dad was The Pit. My dad does not have Hulu, so he can't watch Paradise. But if you have access to it, I recommend it. It's pretty good. We watched War Machine last. I talked about it last week, last live stream. It's okay. It's a different kind of movie, but we'll have to see if they're going to make a sequel to that. What else have you watched? I did not start A Night of the Seven Kingdoms yet, and because we were watching Paradise, because with Hulu we have the commercials, so they're about an hour long episode, and with this time change, it's messing me up with all these different shows and all these different times. So last Sunday was the spring ahead, so we've been doing it for a week, so we've lost an hour a day for 7 days. If you count the 7-8 days, 7-8 hours we basically lost around that time, which stinks. And if you think about it, we lose all this time because your body doesn't really adapt to it until however long, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever. And so we technically lose an hour from now until November. Then we switch the clocks back. Then we gain an hour from November to March. So for 7 months, we're losing an hour. 7 months, that's a long time. And then you gain an hour for 5 months. So it's a missed opportunity. So Tim says, did you see the latest episode of The Pit? No, I haven't seen any of season 2 of The Pit. I've been waiting on there too. So Joe, he says Joe from the Dead was in it. Who's I'm just trying to think of who's Joe. It's kind of cool when you get to see people that are popping up in other shows, because I told you we're watching The Red Road with Jason Momoa, and if you watch Paradise, it's the lady who's like got all the money, the billionaire lady from the tech company or the cloud storage or whatever. She's in that. The guy, Lee Porn from Dark Winds, the other guy from Dark Winds, like the new guy was there. And, Joe the Claimers. Okay, gotcha. So it makes sense with like Joe the Claimers, but like Joe from The Walking Dead and Joe from the Dead, I'm like, who? It's funny how you connect the dots with it, but yeah, Joe the Claimers. He's a good actor. I liked him. I liked him on The Walking Dead. That was... So what was that? Season 4? Like that was a small little group that was interesting. The Walking Dead, I'd still, and probably for a lot of people, I mean, you can agree or disagree, let me know your thoughts, peaked at seasons 4, 5, and 6. That was like the peak epitome of it. And for a lot of shows, that would be it. You wouldn't get any more than 5, maybe 6 seasons of a show. But it was like double that. It was 11 seasons. And so many people have come and gone from that series, but it's cool, really cool to see. And I'm just like Tim, that'll have a thing where you look at it as like that's always the guy from like Daryl is always going to be Daryl. Norman Reedus is always going to be Daryl. You know, I don't even know some. I mean, I know his name is Norman Reedus, but some people might not even know that. You know, like Rick, Andrew Lincoln's always going to be Rick. For certain people, Michonne, Negan, whatever, and I think that's kind of cool. You know, yeah, no, that again, like when The Walking Dead was doing those type of things with Rick and the Claimers, and just so many things were coming around. Terminus, even, you know, just so much stuff was happening that it just lost its way. Really, when Negan came around in season 7, too. So, what's up, John? John's my wrestling guy. I've been watching more and more of guys on YouTube that are opening like boxes of cards and packs of cards and stuff. And because I do love trading cards and sports cards and stuff, but I'm an 80s and 90s kid. So my dad ended up selling a lot of that stuff during COVID and did pretty well. We didn't have anything great, but I've seen some more and more things, especially some WWE cards or UFC cards, and you're getting like autographs and patches and everything, and that's pretty cool if you get like an autograph of, you know, Shawn Michaels or something, or The Undertaker or something. That'd be pretty awesome. And you know, more and more stuff's coming around there. Does anybody collect anything like that? Does anybody collect like Walking Dead stuff still? Like what do you guys like to collect? So today is Selection Sunday for basketball, if you care about that. Then we got March Madness starting this week. So the basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball tournaments will be starting this week, which are pretty cool. I'm a Duke basketball fan, so hopefully they go pretty far in the tournament. If not, I mean, right now I don't know who's going to, yeah, I like to collect money. Oh, that's good. That's a good collection. I like that. Like, look at my collection. It's just like stacks of cash and like quarters and stuff, you know? Or do you like to collect old money or like gold and silver and stuff like that? Do you actually like do that? Because I mean, if you know me, I do like investing in stuff and collecting stuff like stocks, bonds. I tend to collect dust. Well, that's good. I don't know the value in that, but that's pretty funny too. So. Oh. Juliet says, my oldest kid name is Shawn Michaels. So there's that. Like after the wrestler? After the Heartbreak Kid? Now just money from my bank. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So. But so let's talk about Marshals for a little bit. So if you guys have watched Marshals, what do you guys think of it? Carol asks, have you watched the movie Killers of the Flower Moon? Came out a few years back. I watched it a couple days ago. It was wild. It's supposed to be based on a true story. Why do I know that movie? Why do I know that? Killers of the Flower Moon. Who's in that movie? I have not seen it, but I don't know. Is it good? So watch part of the second, but the longer days, I don't think I will keep on with it. So Marshals to me is the Casey Dutton show. That's good, and I like Luke Grimes. It's so funny. His name is Luke Grimes. So, but that's his real name. But Casey Dutton is got his own show called Marshals, and it's only been 2 episodes, and I believe tonight's episode has Michael Cutlets in it. Is what people have said. I have not seen the episode, so at some point we should see Michael Cutlets, so we'll get to see Abraham. He's got the beard, he's got the hair, it's just gray, it's not red. Even though Michael Cutlets, I believe, was a blonde. He had blonde hair. But he's in, Marshals. But my take on Marshals is that every time I watch it, so the first episode was pretty good. The second episode felt more like an NCIS knockoff because I just don't feel like it has that Yellowstone connection besides Casey Dutton, Tate Dutton, who, not to be mean on the kid, but he cannot deliver lines very well. The writing is fine. I can't understand the talking sometimes of Cal, the guy who leads the Marshals, and the girl from New York. She's just got a bad attitude and it's a little too much. The Native American Marshal guy is fine. The other girl, she's okay. She's nothing great. But it just seems like it's a knockoff discount Yellowstone because it's on CBS. And so you have to be careful of what you write, violence, brutality, everything that's there. And it just seems too cheesy in some aspects. And on Yellowstone, you had all these other characters, right? You had Beth, you had Rip, you had Jimmy, you had everything. So you had all those different characters and the Native Americans and Casey and his wife and John and all these different storylines, Jamie even, all these different things. This is just going to focus on this team of U.S. Marshals in Montana. And it's just going to feel like the same things over and over and over again, I guess. We'll have to see how it plays out. But the guy who doesn't like Casey because of the Duttons, like, I get it. You got to have those things. And Casey's good, but I don't know. It just seems kind of off. And the stunt riders, they're pretty obviously when they're stunt riders versus when they're the actors. And certain things are just like, oh, there's a bomb in the car. Like, it just feels so. And I watched CSI and a couple parts of NCIS, but it's kind of just got that encapsulated episode thing that doesn't really carry over too much just yet. I mean, there is a little carryover, obviously, with the groups that are trying to stop and everything. But it's like, I don't know. What do you guys think of it so far? I mean, because it's tough because the level of Yellowstone was so high. And I know it just says Marshals now. They got rid of it. Yeah, the New Yorker is just like too much. Like, she's got a bad attitude and she's like Raymond Casey and she's saying this and whatever. And you're like, stay in your lane. This is the Casey Dutton show. Like, come on. It's a little much. I have to say, yeah, I'll have to. Where did you watch, Carol? Where did you watch that movie, Killers of the Flower Moon? Where'd you watch that at? So, but I do like the premise of Marshals, and it just doesn't feel like a Taylor Sheridan show, like at all. Like, it just feels off. And I know Tim said it last time that it's actually like the other guy. Was it Stephen Hudson or something? Whatever his name. I don't know his name. But this is the first show that has a connection with Yellowstone that doesn't feel like Yellowstone. Like 1883 felt a certain way. 1924 felt a certain way. The Dutton Ranch hopefully feels like a certain way because you have Beth and Rip, two main characters. There's too many other new characters, even though I do like the Native Americans of Mo and Chief Rainwater. And Casey's fine, but Tate's just not that strong of a character, and the rest of the people are like, I don't know. We're used to seeing like strong, tough people on Yellowstone, and it doesn't really kind of feel that way in my opinion. Like I said, maybe I've been too hard on it, but I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna keep supporting it, especially if Michael Cutlass is on. Spencer, yeah, it's Spencer. Sorry, Steve. Not Steve. I said the wrong name. Spencer Headnut. It just seems like it just got the name of Yellowstone Taylor Sheridan, and that's enough to carry it with stuff. But yeah. And again, like I'm just. It's a good discussion because it just feels off compared to the other stuff. And I like continuity. I like the connections with it there too. And you have to branch off. Stuff has to be, excuse me, different. But when it just like, hopefully you saw last episode, but there's a part where you have the U.S. Marshals and they're going after this group, and there's a meeting that's going to be set by the water, and they're going to be setting up a deal. Yeah, that's true. He did add to the train station. And they set up by the water, and there's this deal that's different than what they thought. And there's a thing with a rattlesnake, and the guy gets scared, and it's understandable. I mean, it's a rattlesnake. He doesn't want to spook it. He's got to hide because of the gunfight that's going on. And then the lady goes down there to set the tracker on one of the vehicles, and she struggles with it. Then she has to go under the truck, and she's just kind of stuck there, and they're doing this and whatever. And then they get out of it, and they set up some stuff. And also, like, they're taking pictures with a camera. I don't know the girl's name, but the New Yorker. I just call her the New Yorker. And she takes pictures of stuff, or maybe Cal was taking pictures. I don't know. One of them was taking pictures, and they have the netting over the lens. So you're like, that's going to distort and be terrible photos. Maybe for the glare, maybe for whatever, but if you're taking photos with it, that's just cheese. And then the girl gets out underneath the truck, doesn't fire a single shot from her rifle. Casey gets on his horse and goes after them, and like heroic Casey, that's what you want, the hero, does all the dirty work, does all the stuff. He even throws the rattlesnake out of the way. Like, it's just crazy. Like, and I mean, I love Casey and whatever too. Just like on Tulsa King, they're really relying on Sylvester Stallone, and here, Marshals is really relying on Casey, which is fine. But hopefully more and more characters get a little bit more. That's why the good thing about Yellowstone is like all these other characters came until the fold. So Andrea is her name, the New Yorker. So thanks for letting me getting me correct information. So we got to talk about the Madison. So the Madison, have you guys watched it? Are you gonna watch it? Because it's on Paramount Plus now. It's a Paramount Plus show. And it stars Michelle Pfeiffer, who does a great job. Kurt Russell, who does a great job. Matthew Fox, a couple other actors. One of the guys from Suits is on there. And a couple other actors that I don't really think about. But it's not a connection with Yellowstone. But they're making it a connection with Yellowstone. It's a Taylor Sheridan show. He wrote it. And it's got the music like Yellowstone. It's got the scenes like Yellowstone. It's got the look and the feel of Yellowstone. And so there's a big thing that happens in the first episode that sets the tone for the series, and it ruins it for a lot of people. And I saw an article before I came on here. It was kind of funny that it came up, and I read it on there too, that people gave up after that happens in the first episode. They're like, I'm not watching any more of it. And maybe they're just saying that. Maybe they'll watch it. People say a lot of stuff and they'll watch it. But it feels like it's going to hurt the show more than it helps the show for that major event that happens. But ultimately, stuff has to happen. Writing needs to happen to set the tone for how it goes. And it is what it is, so we'll have to see. But overall, it's worth watching the first episode, and Michelle Pfeiffer does a great job. Kurt Russell does a great job, and really everyone does, except for like the one girl's voice. She's the daughter of Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's married to the guy from Suits on the show. And her voice is just a little too raspy, or just too, like, it sounds like she has a cold. And I'm thinking to myself, you couldn't find someone that sounds a little bit better than that, but she plays the part that she's supposed to play. A rich person from New York that isn't in touch with reality, and she doesn't listen to her parents, and she's kind of a pain in the butt. So there you go. Yeah, like I said, hopefully it just works out for the writing that they did, because stuff has to happen in the shows, and people need to come and go and whatever. But now, so like, it's kind of annoying when you have a show and there's a bunch of characters and they do the main character stuff, and you have the big stuff, the big characters in there and the big actors, and then something happens, like a character gets killed off. But they bring them back for all these cameos, flashbacks. They kind of do like a reverse storytelling. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it's fine. It's a way to get there. Like the first episode starts with like, boom, a big major event, and then, you know, the opening or a commercial break or something, and it's like 6 years ago, 6 years previously. So then you have to go back to catch up to that, and that's just how storytelling is done sometimes. We're going to show you the main event, and then we'll eventually show you, we'll get you caught up to get there. So, but either way, it's interesting enough, and Yellowstone is going strong, and Taylor Sheridan stuff is going strong. I don't know how many seasons the Madison's going to be. I know that Marshals is going to be 2 seasons at least because they greenlit it. Because I'm sure it's going to get millions of views. I know I believe the first episode of Marshals did very well on CBS. It was like 9 million views, and then on Paramount Plus, the delayed way, was 20 million views or something, like something great. And, you know, a lot of people don't have cable, so you're not going to watch stuff on CBS, NBC, Fox on there. You'll watch it the next day on streaming. You'll watch it on Paramount Plus or Hulu or whatever. And it's kind of better because I personally like it to watch at your own leisure. I can't count how many times we've paused the show to get something to drink or go to the bathroom or whatever. And with live television, you can't do that. And I think we're getting further and further away of live television, but ultimately it's still a necessity for some people too. So, but overall, you know, I just thought about it because it's only been 2 episodes, so we'll have to see. Hopefully Marshals gets better. Hopefully the Madison continues to be a good show, if not gets better. And there was, you know, some just really like one photo of the Dutton Ranch. It's a brand of a D connected with an R of a brand being branded on like a piece of wood. And it's the Dutton Ranch for Beth and Rip. It's going to take place in Texas, evidently. So Sheridan likes having all the Texas connection. He loves Montana and Texas for all that universe, which is fine, which makes sense. But we'll have to see who's going to be in that show. There's been a lot of talk if we're going to get some crossover connections carryover from the different shows. I think it can only help if you have Beth and or Rip show up for Casey, and or Casey show up in the Dutton Ranch, or if you have any of the ranch handlers from, you know, Yellowstone show up on the Dutton Ranch, or anyone from 4-6s like Jimmy or whatever would make sense. So we'll have to see how it plays out, but I love the idea of the universe to get bigger and bigger. And with the Yellowstone thing, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to do it. I think it's an easy way to have that as well. And, you know, that's what I think we're talking about and wanting in a lot of our shows now. We don't want to have just one movie, one series. When something is good, how can you branch off? How can you expand? How can you have a sequel or a prequel or a spin-off or something? It's not good enough now to write one season or series of a show, you know? It's just definitely a thing that makes sense too, so. Hyperfizz, how you be? I'm doing all right. How about you? Yeah, I missed the good old days of Walking Dead when it was at its peak. Yeah, I was thinking about it too. That was so long ago that The Walking Dead was must-see TV. Like, back in the day, we would be in the second half of whatever season of The Walking Dead right now. That always returned in February. And it was something to look forward to. You know, never say never that another show is not going to come out and be part of it, you know, because it makes sense that I did like the idea of, you know, having another show at some point, but we'll have to see how it goes down. Carol says, looked it up, Paramount / Apple original, DiCaprio, Fraser, De Niro, Lithgow, and Plemons is in that. Oh, man, you're going to make me look this up now, Carol, because I'm kind of interested more about, I mean, because, let's see, Killers of the Flower Moon. Let's search this out. Killers of the Flower Moon comes up. And it's definitely like a cowboy movie. I see De Niro. It's like old school. When did this come out? It's a 2023 American epic crime drama film directed by Martin Scorsese. Wow. Based on the 2017 nonfiction book. Huh. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check it out on there too. But Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, see, it's always good to hear different things, you know, different recommendations, different stuff on there, because it's always good to have people checking stuff out and recommending it. Some things are more likely for me to watch than others, but, you know, hey, it's always a good thing on there too. And, you know, because the thread that connects us all here is The Walking Dead, right? That was our main show that brought us here. And people stuck around and people expanded out and everything. And, you know, I know the main thread is the Walking Dead universe still, but that just seems like, I don't know, it's just running down. The Daryl Dixon show is going to be our last time potentially seeing Daryl. You know, never say never, but we'll have to see how that ends and what that sets up. Dead City, I hope that gets much better. If there's only one Walking Dead show, hopefully that's going to take the budget, the time, the writers, bring people in. Because everyone Fear the Walking Dead was new, and they could have done anything they wanted. And it was definitely something that I was interested in. And you're watching it a little bit, and it just really wasn't anything great. And then it just got whatever. And then season 3, it's like half of the seasons were good, but they wouldn't commit to things to build for the future. And then they did a reworking of it, just setting things, just totally redoing it, and throwing in Morgan and some new characters with John Dory and everything in there. And then they decided to write a little bit better if they had ghost writers or whatever, and season 6 was the word, and that was the word going around allegedly. But it's too much money and too much budget and too much time and too much production, because The Walking Dead was still going on, and Fear the Walking Dead was going on, World Beyond and that, and now you just have one thing to focus on, Dead City. Daryl Dixon is done. The 4th and final season airs whenever it comes out. Now they can focus on certain things with Dead City. And just put that into there too. Like, I don't care if it's Dead City, but you bring in Rick and Michonne and CRM and the Commonwealth and Mercer and whatever. Like, bring those people in that show and help out, and it wouldn't be too crazy because it's still connected with that universe. Maggie and Negan can only do so much. We know they're never going to die because they're the connections with the original cast and the Walking Dead franchise. Just like Carol and Daryl. You know they're not going to die. Who are you kidding? There's just no way. So we'll have to see how it goes down with that for the future of it. But, there's a whole bunch of things going on with, money and budget and time and production and everything. And hopefully we can get past that and build for the future for it and just have a satisfying ending of The Walking Dead and then just be done with it. No more rumors, no more nonsense, no more dumb videos talking about different things that are happening here, and we're going to get a 12th season on Netflix, and we're going to get this, and we're going to get all this nonsense that talks about things that just not real for views and clickbait, trickbait, what all this crap is. Whatever. Just wrap it up, end it, and let's move on. Because everything has an end with it there, too. Like, yeah, good shows exist, but then when you wait too long or you force a connection, it hurts things with it too. Like one of my favorite shows is The Sopranos. And they didn't have any spin-offs, didn't do anything for a long time. And then they came out with The Many Saints of Newark. And it was pretty terrible. And the connections with The Sopranos seemed really forced. It wasn't just done right. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense too. And so we'll have to see because, The Walking Dead really was leaps and bounds of any other zombie genre thing known to man. Like it gave credibility to the zombie niche area. Storytelling made you connect with the people, and it wasn't just like cheesy zombies that are dumb. But where's the future going to be in other things? You never know. We have no idea what the future holds for other writing, other storytelling, everything as well. And maybe there's another great thing that comes out. And there's stuff that comes out all the time on streaming stuff and I used The Night Agent as an example. Nobody knew what that was. That came out of nowhere, and they got 3 seasons out of it. I don't know if they're going to continue more, but it's a pretty good show, a different kind of connection. And there's things that are timeless that can always be done, right? Law and order type of shows, police department shows, medical shows, firefighter shows, all the above with 911 rescue type shows, and you can connect the dots with all those things. And there's the things that'll just continue to be made for a long time. Like how many medical shows have been there too? The latest one is The Pit or Doc. There's Grey's Anatomy and House and whatever. Like there's all these different stuff that keeps coming out over and over and over, and it's fine. Some things are a little different. Some things are a little more, like even Scrubs. Like there's a bunch of things. And then Blue Bloods came out, and then this was out, and all these things come out too. And so we'll have to see what the next big thing is. But there's things that connect the dots: universal, good versus evil, family, connection, togetherness, and it's not that hard to do in theory. But it's hard to connect the dots with the secret sauce that makes this one of there too. Because like The Walking Dead was so special in my eyes because you had all these different characters. And which character did you like? Some people like Rick, some people didn't. Some people were Daryl fans, some people liked Carol, some people liked Glenn, some Abraham, some were this, Michonne. I don't know who really liked Lori, but maybe some people did. I don't know. Some people like Carl, some people liked all these different aspects. And so like you had the different things to have, and then the characters to root for, Eugene, whatever it was. And then it's kind of, we need a show with an ensemble, and that's always a good way to go. Like I always think about Seinfeld, right? When I was growing up, I used to love Kramer, but now I'm older, I actually like George and Elaine a little bit better. Kramer's still funny and whatever, but George and Elaine crack me up. And I love watching old reruns of Seinfeld. That's a good thing to watch on Netflix if you want to pass the time. Home Improvement still holds up and is really good. We watch kind of an episode a night as well because that's it's crazy to think about it as, they're not 30 minutes, they're 21, 22-minute shows. And so if it was a 22-minute show, out of 30 minutes, you were getting 8 minutes of commercials throughout all that time. And so that was a lot of advertising money that was there too. So, but it's March 15th, 2026 as we do this live stream, and I live in Florida, so we've had a lot of spring breakers because, where I live, the area is having spring break next week. So the schools will be closed, which will be nice driving around a little bit. But it's just really annoying where I live because it is kind of touristy at times. And my wife and I were at the gym today and yesterday, and there was all these people working out, don't know what they're doing, getting in the way, it's just too much. So hopefully they're just going to be gone, by next weekend. It'll be less, but then new people will be here because every week is a different area for spring break. But then also this area will be done spring break too, so back to reality and back to all that too. So I don't get a spring break because I'm not a student and I don't work for the school district. So spring break is pretty useless for me. But if you are, hopefully you're going to have a good time and you will go on a nice trip. Or, I know some people went to Disney. I would not go to Disney World. I would not go to Orlando. I would not to go anywhere like that in my opinion, for the huge crowds and the masses and the groups. But it's got to be expensive too, especially with the price of gas. Like, I just got gas the other day and it was $3.75. So that's kind of tough if you're traveling all over the place. Flying is a little tough with the TSA agents, or some of them are not getting paid now with a partial government shutdown. I don't know. It's just crazy. So hopefully if you're traveling somewhere, you'll be safe and sound and won't have any too many. And then the other thing is, I looked up because I want to go to Chicago next year, and I'll fly from Tampa to Chicago, and you can either go to O'Hare or Midway. And I have some Southwest points left that I want to use. And before, they would go from here to O'Hare, but they're shutting down and stopping coming this summer to go to O'Hare. So I'll have to go to Midway to use those points. So I don't know if it's that big a deal or not, but everyone I talked to said to fly to O'Hare. But again, I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know the two airports, one versus the other. So we'll have to see too. So. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, post Labor Day is always a good option too. You got to find. I'd personally like to get away from the holidays if you can, because everybody travels, just for what it is. So Negan says fly into Midway, much better. So that might work out. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do anyway because I don't have like a bunch of Southwest points, but I'm trying to use up my points. And then I'm trying to get rid of my credit card because once you cancel your credit card, which is really difficult to do, by the way, don't ever sign up for the Southwest credit card unless you are going to have that forever. But they charge now, it was $99 a year for a long time, and now it's $149. And I don't really fly them enough. So it's better to just get rid of that credit card. And if I cancel the credit card, then I'm going to lose those points. So I want to use the points and then cancel it. And I got to call them up and say I got to cancel their credit card and do all that. So that's going to be a whole ordeal. But flying to Midway looks like the goal too. So and then I was also looking at different cruises because Alaska has been on my, I guess, bucket list, if you will. And you fly to Seattle or Victoria, British Columbia, I believe. And then you sail from there to the different ports in Alaska. And then you come back. And, which cruise line and or boat or ship is the best to go on? Because I want to have the best experience possible. And it's not going to be cheap flying from here to Seattle. And then Seattle, the port, the cruise, go do all that stuff and then fly home. but you want to have the best trip possible, and so I'm starting to do my homework on there too, and I'm not gonna do that for a while because it's such a longer vacation and everything. But that's on my list. So I've been looking at different traveling coming up for the next couple years, and I've always said it to you guys. You want to have it being you have your goals, your fun things to look forward to on there as well. And so I always want to have the option for something down the road too. So Tim says, curious, what do you have for wheels, Bri? I have a Toyota Camry as my car. It's it's nothing great by any means, but I used to drive a Ford Fusion, and it was so before that I had a Pontiac Grand Am. So my first car was a Mazda MX-6 that my dad bought for me. It had air conditioning, but the air conditioning didn't work, which was terrible. I had that car for a long time, and then I sold that car to a Pontiac dealership because I wanted air conditioning. So I got a Grand Am for like, I don't know, $7,000 or something. And it had air conditioning, and it was great to have air conditioning, which was crazy. The things you don't think about. And then I had that car forever. Then I got rid of it and got a Ford Fusion when I first started working and making real money. And then I had that car forever. And then during COVID, which I guess was like 2021 now? It was definitely past 2020. So 21, maybe even 22, it died. The alternator went. It was a whole big thing. And I got the Toyota Camry then because I needed a car. There was limited supply because it was COVID. The processor chips were at a very small level. There was they didn't have a lot of them. The supply and demand of processor chips was very low, and that's why they have all these different things now. Now there's a surplus and abundance, I'm guessing. But so I've had my Camry for I don't even know when I actually bought it now. So maybe coming up on 4 years, and it's been great. I actually have to get tires. Next is my next big thing too. So, man, people had some Pintos. Negan had a 1980 Pinto, and Hard Nixie had a 75 Pinto. And I probably want to have my car for. It's weird to think about this, but I was thinking about it the other day when I was talking with patients that I'm probably going to have my Camry hopefully for another 10 years because it's got less than 50,000 miles on it now. And so hopefully it holds up and it goes, because I've never had a car over 100,000 miles. Like I've never made it that far. And I talk with patients and they're like, oh yeah, I had 150. I had close to 200,000 miles on some of their cars or trucks or whatever. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Like for something in my mind, I think of it as like 100,000 miles is like, that's the life cycle of the car. But you could easily go over that if you take care of it and oil changes and batteries and tires and maybe alternators or whatever you have to change. But I don't know, like I would drive my car to, till it dies. And then my dad has a hybrid Toyota Venza. It's like a smaller SUV. And he'll have that car. That'll probably be his last car because he's in his mid to late 70s now. And so if he has that car for another 10 years, that's probably going to be it. And he loves the car and it's got good gas mileage because it's a hybrid. And I'm like, all right, so I'll probably have to take over that car and then get rid of my car, my Camry. By that time, hopefully it's on the way out. And then I'll have that because I don't need two cars. Plus, my wife has a car, so we're not going to be those people, I like the idea of just having our own cars, and then eventually maybe down the road. I mean, I don't know how people do it with one car for a married couple or a household, because it's like kind of tough. Like if someone has to go to the store and someone's got to go here, but I can make it work. One car insurance payment. I mean, it'll save a lot of money too, Egan says, now I have 2020 Raptor, 2010 Raptor, 2002 Lightning, 93. Dang, look at all these cars. Insurance companies love you. I bet they do, right? Man, so you like your trucks on there, my guy. A 79 Trans Am. Nice. 63 Impala. Man, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I always thought about I'd want a truck and a car. So, but I don't know. Like, it's all these things down the road and then the insurance companies and all this stuff and whatever too. So, but yeah, I mean, of course, but because my wife likes to go to the gym early in the morning, so then, and I probably wouldn't go early. And then I thought about getting like an e-bike, but then I feel like someone's going to steal it. And I don't know, am I really going to be like 65 on an e-bike? Like, I don't know. And then you can get a golf cart. But then you have to get insurance, titles, registration, tags, car insurance on a thing. I was like, why would I even get a golf cart then? It's like another vehicle, another car, So I've been writing more of the Fight for Us 2 book series. I'm on chapter 10 now, so I'm more than halfway done the book. I'm not sure if I'm going to be 16 or 18 chapters. We'll have to see how it's going to continue on with the story. But if I'm 18, I'm halfway done the book. And, I think about it when I'm writing it. One of the biggest things and perks about a zombie apocalypse is you can take whatever you want in the zombie apocalypse. But in the story now, there's stuff in place that's there and whatever. But, especially early on, like if you go to a dealership or supermarket or whatever, fast food place, gotta take it over. And hopefully, people would do the right thing and be good to each other and whatever. But as we saw during, pandemics and different times in history, people aren't always the best, but then people come together. Life finds a way, to quote the quote from Jurassic Park. I think ultimately we have to have that change in mindset of like helping people and not worrying about ourselves so much as like egomaniacs or sociopaths or psychopaths or whatever the term would be, because it's just crazy to think about it as like helping others for a basic need or a basic thing now is like crazy. And I'm not even talking about young people, teenagers. That's a whole other story. We're talking about middle-aged to older people. You should know better. People should know better. But people don't give an F anymore. They don't care anymore. They don't care one bit about the next person for that. And I'm right there with them if people are going to be right there too. But I don't choose to step away, step aside, move out of the way, move my cart out of the aisle, move my way there too. Be respectful. Don't be a pain in the butt. Don't be annoying for stuff like that too. And it's tough because you can only do so much in our own world when our world goes out into the other world with other people. But more and more people are staying in their bubble or staying in their house. And hopefully you guys know the Super Bowl commercial for Instacart that has Ben Stiller and the other guy. And I saw it the other day, and it's got that song to it where it says like, Instacart lets you choose your bananas. And that was in my head for like the rest of the day. And there's a commercial about Instacart that the driving thing is that you can choose your bananas and they bring it to you. And I'll always want to be the person who food shop. Even though I hate food shopping, I want to go in there, food shop, get my groceries, and get out. Go to Sam's Club, get in, get out. Go to Target, Walmart, Publix, whatever it is, get in and get out. And, I won't go to, I'm not going to DoorDash McDonald's, but I'll get pizza delivered or Chinese food delivered or, Applebee's delivered if I have free gift card, I have gift cards or like a free delivery code or something. And it helps, especially if it's out of the way or the traffic over there sucks, just go that way. And to each their own. But it just costs so much more that we're willing to do that now too, Tim says, on the Madison, daughter punched on New York streets and people just kept walking by. That wouldn't happen where I am. Had been grabbed and held immediately. Yeah. So the crazy thing about that too is that the girl's on the phone, the daughter of Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell, and she's just on the phone and she has her shopping bags from the stores that she got stuff from. And she gets punched in the face, cold cocked, and she drops the bags. He picks up the bags and runs away. And the guy, there's a guy, recording it. And no one helps her. No one grabs the guy. No one even helps her up. No one even checks to make sure that she's okay. No one even talks to her at all. They just continue walking. And I don't know if that would actually happen in New York. I would like to think that somebody would help in some way, shape, or form, either go after the individual or help her up at least to make sure that she was okay. And maybe you just help her up because you're like, I'm not getting involved. I'm not going to get stabbed or shot over some bags. But make sure, because she gets punched in the face and she gets, a mark on her cheek and then she has to get stitches. And it's sad in two fronts. That happened, that somebody would do that to someone, but also that no one would help. But I think that's a high percentage that would actually happen. And, I would never go to New York probably now or ever because I don't feel like it's safe. And I don't feel like it would be okay where I could just walk down the street and that could happen. People were getting pushed or stabbed or shot or whatever, just walking down the street. And not say it's just New York, but those were the stories where they were coming from. And hopefully there's other stories of people intervening because, again, there's only so many stories that get reported in the news. But I would like to think that people would help somebody. I don't know. So exactly. Yeah, that's true, Tim. That is how the finale of Seinfeld they were recorded not helping the individual, and then they went to jail because of that. And that was a long time ago. That was I don't even know when the finale of Seinfeld ended, and that was a pretty bad finale too. That was pretty terrible. That may go down as one of the worst finales of a major show because Seinfeld was huge. And Friends, they just leave the apartment and it's over because they're going their separate ways. In Cheers, they close the bar. And there's Sopranos, it just ends. It fades to black. We don't know exactly what happened, but we all think that, Tony was shot and killed. But it's tough. It's tough to end a show. It's really difficult to have an ending. I'm hoping with The Boys that the 5th and final season that starts in April, I think it's April 8th is when that comes back. And then From comes back April 19th. And if you haven't seen the trailer for From, definitely check it out because there's a lot of talk about the man in yellow and Jim and the crazy I don't even know what that is, a big puppet thing that breaks through the log cabin. It's just crazy stuff that's happening in there too. So I'm not even trying to break that down because I'm see what it means. Is the man in yellow going to be a shapeshifter and do this and all this craziness going to happen too? But knowledge comes at a cost in the world of From. So, but knowledge is power as well too. So remember that, guys. So there you go, guys. That's my time. That's my hour. Thank you guys for taking the time being here. Enjoy Marshals tonight if you watch it on CBS, or you'll watch it next day, like I watch it on Monday. If you watch Seven Little Johnstons, which I do on TLC, that comes back on Tuesday for the next season of that. And then all the other different shows and movies, and then basketball, that's going to be rocking the world of March, coming in starting Thursday. So thank you guys for taking the time to be here. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Keep working on it. No matter what is, you can do it. Thank you guys, and I'll be back next Sunday. See you guys. See ya.